Hello everyone, welcome to Research in EFL or ESL class. In this video, you are going to study more about what is research, its importance, and then the kinds of research, as well as the steps in the research. Now let's start with what is research. Research, according to Creswell, is a process of steps used to collect and analyze information to increase our understanding of a topic or issue. In research, there are 3 steps. That is, first, pose a question, second, collect data to answer the questions, and the third, presenting an answer to the questions. That's according to Creswell. While according to Noonan, research can be defined as a systematic process of inquiry that consists of 3 elements or components. The first is posing a questions or identifying a problem, and then formulating hypotheses. The second step is collecting the data, and the third, analyzing the data and interpreting the result. So, a study, or let's say research, must include these 3 elements. It has the questions or the problems, it has data, and it has methodology of analyzing the data and reporting the result, interpreting the result and reporting the result. Why research is important? Research is very important because first it adds knowledge, and then second it improves the practice. It adds knowledge is actually from the existing knowledge, it might add new or novelty knowledge to the existing one. That's a theoretical benefit or theoretical knowledge, existing knowledge. The second is the practical value because it improves humans' life. It solves the problems. Then it is very important to conduct the research. The third one is informed policy debate. Here it becomes the information that can be used by policymakers to take an appropriate policy to improve humans' life. And this one is very useful. It's different if somebody use data to make decision, and if only use assumption, which is might be wrong. But if it's based on the data, then it is mostly a right policy or a right decision if it is based on the data. In conducting research, there are 6 steps that must be carefully carried out, because if one of the steps eliminated, it might decrease the quality of the research. First is identifying the research problem. The research problem can be identified from, let's say, observations, reading the articles, or from the previous studies or research, or from the experience of the researcher. Second step is identify the relevant literature that relate to the topic. This can be conducted using, let's say, Google Scholars, or let's say search engine for the article, for example Scopus, or let's say Gistop. After conducting the review literature, the third step is to specify the research purpose. This to narrow down the focus of the research in order to help the researcher to be able to conduct the research and to stay clear what's actually the aim of the research, and able to identify the participants of the research and to collect the data. Once the purpose has been made, then come to the next step, that is data collection. In data collection, it might involve the participants, which is a kind of population, their sample, and the technique of collecting data, for example, like conducting survey or interview. After data collection, and then come to the data analysis. In these steps, it might involve statistical softwares, or let's say qualitative software, statistical software such as SPSS or R software, and then qualitative tools might be NVivo, or let's say the other ones Atlas, or let's say manually. It's okay because in qualitative people use analyzing the data manually using their mind or their brain. And once it's been analyzed, interpreted, come to the reporting and evaluating the results. Here, report the result of the research to the stakeholders that might give, let's say, to add the knowledge or give the new perspective or new insight, or let's say solve the problem that has been identified first. These are the 6 steps of the good quality of research. So when you conduct a research, make sure that you conduct the research for each step carefully until come to the reporting the result. Let's move to the types of research. In general, research based on the data collection can be divided into 2 big types. First is secondary research and second primary research. Secondary research means the data is not collected by the researcher himself or herself, but by somebody else or another institution. The data, for example, here is probably books, or let's say the one that already collected by statistic institution, or let's say the data available in internet, for example, PISA dataset. While primary research is the data that collected directly from the site by researcher. For example, if you want to study more about students' capability in English and you go to the class and collect the data, that's a kind of primary research. Let's move to the statistical studies in research. For research in EFL, there are 2 big statistical studies that usually used. First is survey studies, which focus on groups' attitude, opinions, or characteristics, and it uses questionnaire to collect the data from a certain group of people. And the second one is experimental study, which is a whole range of different possible studies that investigate the language behavior of groups under control condition, meaning that there are more than 2 groups and one get treatment and while the others not. And then in the end, the result of the study is compared, let's say, by comparing the result of the test from the beginning, between the group in the beginning and in the end of the treatment. That's about statistical studies that usually used in EFL. Let's move to the characteristic of statistical research. Research that used statistical approach is a kind that must be systematic. That means it has clear structure with definite procedure, rules that must be followed for each step. It is logic, tangible, replicable, and reductive. Logic meaning that it follows the common sets, and tangible meaning that it is real, and replicable meaning it can be repeated by the other researchers, and it deductive meaning it summarizes the result, let's say from a complex one into a simple one, to see the pattern of certain, let's say, variable or let's say factors that might influence, let's say, in students' academic achievement, for example. Or let's say the certain patterns from uncertain or complex patterns come to the simple one. That's we call reductive research. So this is the characteristic of statistical research that usually happen for the research in general as well as in research in FL or SL. I think that's all for my explanation. Thank you very much and have a great day. Please read Classwell books. If you want to borrow, you can go to English department. It has the textbook there. The one that I really recommend for you to read carefully to help you to learn about research in FL and ESL or in education in general, and also to help you to complete your assignments, your project. Thank you. Have a great day.